building principal.
And I'm Miss Mason, the school counselor.
And we have one more person. I'll let Mrs. Tassi introduce herself as well.
Hi, my name's Stacy Tassi, and I am the current president of the Kulp Home and School Association.
Thank you. And she has a new one joining kindergarten, so she's like half and half with us. All right, let me present my screen for you. Tab. All right, Miss Mason, am I good on your end? Is it coming through?
Yep.
Okay. And everybody can see it well? It's large enough? I'm trying a new extension they gave us to be able to see your faces and see the screen at the same time. So you're my first test with this.
All the new things we're learning.
Yes.
I can see it fine.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So welcome to the new family orientation. We're going to go through a few things for this afternoon. We're going to kind of explain to you the North Penn mission for those who don't know, just so that you know we're all working together. There are a lot of schools. So I have to admit people as I go through. And there's some key people I want you to know. I'll explain virtual learning. Normally it would be a tour of the school, but unfortunately, the way we're set up right now, there's no tour of the school. So I really just want you to understand how virtual learning will work. Some places where you need to communicate with and people you need to communicate with throughout the process, how attendance is going to be recorded. You'll hear from Ms. Mason for counseling, health services. We have some stuff about PBIS I forgot to put in, and from our home and school president. Stacy, let me know if you have to leave and I can add you in any spot if you have to end up going, okay?
I'm okay for right now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. If you have questions, you can feel free to write them in the chat. Most of the questions I'll be able to answer at the question and answer time at the end. But if there's something that's really burning that you need me to stop that you're confused about, please feel free to put it in, and Ms. Mason will just stop me along the way and have me answer if it's something that directly applies to that.
I'm used to interrupting.
All right. All right, our North Penn mission is really that we are a student-centered district. We believe in being innovative, but we want to empower our students. I'm not going to read you word for word, but I can tell you overall, we believe in the greatness in all of our students. We want you to become lifelong learners. We really believe in the diversity that lives within our community, and we really want to share that diversity within all of our buildings and encourage our students to get to know each other and our families to do the same thing, because we can learn so much from each other. We also want them to become citizens of this world. So for our students who are on, we know that you're not always going to stay at Kulp. We know that you're going to go to middle school and high school and eventually enter the world. So our goal is that we prepare you to be global citizens and to be able to interact with everyone around you. So our values are here. We are a diverse building, and North Penn is a diverse district. So we have many different families that speak many different languages, and that is something that your child, or if you're a student, you're going to learn some other languages within the building. So we have a great ESL program for our families who are in the ESL program, and we take the time to make sure we get to know you. We work in partnership with our students and with our families, because we can't do it without you, and it's a huge team. So we want to just really encourage you to know that you're a part of the team. You are your child's biggest advocate. So please never feel afraid to just speak to us about any concerns that you have. You can come to myself, you can come to Ms. Mason. We're all open to hear it, and we love to problem solve through it to figure out the best educational process for your child. Some key people to know. I wish this would go down. There we go. So, of course, myself, you met Ms. Mason. Some friendly faces that you would typically see in our office, which are our ladies. You have Mrs. Stanley, who is my secretary. So you'll either hear from myself or Mrs. Stanley. And you also have Mrs. Maniscalco. You see she has her Whompers. She really is just as fun and silly as her picture. So normally when we are in the building, our students absolutely love her. She has a cart with a horn and legs.
Office.
Exactly.
I feel like I need to interject here. You cannot forget her crown.
That is true.
You forget Queenie's crown.
So Queenie as well. So our students just adore her. So that's who our students interact with when they're in the building each morning. If they get a birthday pencil, if they were there, they would come to her. If they're upset or sad, they're typically sitting up there, and she just is amazing with them. We also have our 2 nurses. So I'll explain how our nurses work. So we have Mrs. Marcarelli, who is the head nurse, and then we have our school nurse, Mrs. McPeak. Mrs. McPeak is there 5 days a week. Mrs. Marcarelli is there 2 days a week. So during virtual learning, it's the same thing. We'll have Mrs. Marcarelli 2 different times in a week, and Mrs. McPeak is going to still be with us 5 days a week. So I'm not sure if she's going to do it from home or the building, but she still wants to collect a lot of the information we need for the school year with a lot of new families coming in. So Mrs. Marcarelli does not like her photo, so she gave us a different photo for her. But Mrs. McPeak, we have her photo, so that's the person you'll see the most. But Mrs. Marcarelli is great as well.
They're fantastic. They know all of the kids so well, like all the background, and like it's just, you know, they are so good at what they do, and it's such a family feel that, you know, they just know everybody. And we have what, 550 kids, something like that.
And they know every last student.
Everybody.
So they give everything from ice to just make you feel better, no matter the situation, to actually whatever your medical need may be.
Mm-hmm.
And they're phenomenal. So some additional staff that you would need to know. Do you want to introduce who they are, Ms. Mason?
Sure. So we have our special ed supervisor, Tiffany Diamore. She's fantastic. If you have a child with a special need, she'll be, you know, involved in the process of IEPs. She knows everything, and if she doesn't, she's really quick to get you to answer, but usually she knows everything. We have our school climate coordinator, Mrs. Powers, who I know you will get to know because she is so involved with the families. Basically, her role is to she's sort of a mix between like an administrator and a counselor. She's just really hands-on with the kids and setting a really positive climate for the school. And she's so high energy, and it's, I don't know, she blows me away every day. Mm-hmm. Mrs. Bizzaro is our school psychologist. She is also very hands-on with the kids, does a lot of the testing that needs to be done for evaluations, things like that. Mrs. Clementis is our inclusion facilitator. So she works a lot with the special ed population and helps the teachers in creating a great classroom experience for our kids with special needs. And our 2 reading specialists, Mrs. Sabo and Mrs. Benante, who are wonderful, also are very good at knowing every single child and knowing all of their needs and the best way to help them read. We have a really, really strong team. I have a lot of trust and faith in all of these people to create the best educational experience possible for your kids.
Absolutely. So these are essentially our core people that you'll find when we come back to the building. We're going to hope so soon, but if you come back, these are the core people that you often see in the office when you come to the front office. Mm-hmm. All right, so virtual learning. So I hope at this point you have picked up your Chromebooks from the high school so that you can be able to start come Monday. We had our orientations and meet and greets this morning. If you haven't, we'll be on at the end to be able to explain that to you to make sure that everyone has a device. So school starts on August 31st. School is going to be from 9 o'clock to 3:30. Within that time, you are going to have morning meetings for each class so that we can build some culture and climate, and you can get to know each other in this virtual setting, because it's not like we can meet you on the recess grounds and you get to become familiar. So that morning meeting is how you get to know your classmates. It'll be a mix between synchronous, which means live instruction, which is what we're doing right now. This would be synchronous. You're tied into me, I'm tied into you, and we're responding to each other. Asynchronous is where students are going to work independently and they're going to be off screen and they'll be given a task to do and complete. And then they'll have an alert that helps them to get back to group. So that'll be a mix throughout the day. Teachers will send their specific information by grade level. If you see here on the side is what our Canvas system is. Canvas is our learning management system where all programming and instruction will be housed. So that's where students look at their work. That's where parents can see the schedule. The teacher can get in contact with them. That's the perfect place to go. If you don't go there, you can always go to our school website if you need to get to anybody on the core team as well. That's also a location. Now, the North Penn desktop is something that parents may not be as familiar with as our students. Our students are very familiar and the staff of the district are. It's called a desktop where it literally looks like one big screen where all of our applications are. So anything that you need to access, you actually click on that desktop and that takes you to whatever the program is that the student is working on, or if the student needs to access something there. Infinite Campus, which is something slightly different, that's more on the parent side. So parents will want to make sure that they know how to get into their Infinite Campus because that's where our report cards are posted and some of the vital information, and make sure your contact information is correct there because we use the information in Infinite Campus to send out our newsletters or if we need to contact you in an emergency.
Yeah, that's huge. Make sure that your phone numbers are up to date, email addresses, things like that, because that's our first go-to, especially when we're back in the building. Like, let's say your child's sick and we need somebody to come and pick them up. Like, that's our go-to places for contact information. So really make sure that that's up to date.
Mm-hmm. And our nurses, I won't be shocked if our nurses start sending emails to try to also get that information. They typically get information and also funnel it into the system to help. The last people you need to know how to contact is the North Penn tech support. Because we're all virtual, if something goes wrong, if something's wrong with your computer screen, your keyboard, it's not charging, you can't access something, you're kicked out, whatever that need is, send it to the North Penn tech support. They'll email you back or you can put a number for them to call you back. Right now, I know they're overwhelmed, so it's taken a few days to get back to you, but you can still go to them. If you're realizing that it's something that's very important, and let's say you're trying to get on a class and you can't with the student, please just email myself. You can email Ms. Mason. You can email our front office. And we have our own building tech support, which is another Mrs. Carter also, who's Elizabeth Carter is our tech support. And she actually helps me to kind of get to the North Penn Tech if I need to get you that immediate assistance. Because there's some things we can help with, and then some things she can just do. And then other things are the district level support that you need. So here are some of the expectations that you are going to see in the classroom virtually that we're asking students to make sure they're following, and for families. So knowing how to mute the mic and unmute it. Each classroom teacher has gone over how to do this in the orientation, and they're going to continue to do that next week with students. Also teaching you a way to learn how to raise your hand. Every teacher may have a different way of teaching you how to raise your hand and interact. So make sure you're learning that from your classroom teacher. We're going to ask that you save snacks for later because we know little kids, they like to eat their snacks, especially our younger ones. And we learned in the building that those juices and those snacks ended up on the keyboard. So to help keep our devices in tip-top shape, we're going to ask to just save it for later. Our younger grades have time built in for snack periods, and the district also wanted to make sure that all students had an hour-long lunch so that we can make sure that they're full and happy to go when they're learning. Make sure to speak loud and clear. If you can't hear someone or they can't hear you, they may tell you to just speak up. So just let us know. It's kind to let us know what's going on because we don't always know what you're receiving. We're going to ask for you to use your ears to listen. When you're in class, it's really important to follow directions as you're first starting, because a lot of these things are very new. So when students are starting, it's going to be a lot of talking, unfortunately, just so that they learn the systems and processes. Of course, be respectful. We'll explain that more. We're a PBIS school. And when I get there, Ms. Mason will break it all down for you, probably, because this is something she's so passionate about.
My thing, yeah.
It is. This is her area. And just think about making sure you have a quiet workplace for your children, or if our students are on, just a corner that's theirs, that's set up that they can get on. Sometimes we recommend, if it's a busy home, just to make sure their back is against the wall. So if you don't want to be seen, if you walk by, we're going to see the wall. We're not going to see you. So just to remember those things. All right, people to communicate with. So we have the people we told you about who are our core. So we have our secretaries. They're on here. The main numbers on the screen. They are in the building even during virtual learning. So please reach out to them if you have any questions. Our tech support. We have our school website. Ms. Mason, obviously her email is there. And anytime you want to request a conference, if you have a question, you're concerned, you can reach out to us, but we say reach out to the teachers and try to arrange for a conference with them. They're happy to do it anytime. If you find something that you feel like you don't want to go directly to the teacher for, you need some more sensitivity, Ms. Mason or I are great with it. We typically will pull each other in if needed, or one of us will just take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if it's something classroom related, I think always start with the teacher. They always have more information than we do. So starting with the teacher is your best bet with anything classroom related.
Mm-hmm. And our newsletter. I send out a newsletter every Sunday. It's called a S'mores newsletter. You'll get a link. And I try to keep everything in one location for families there so that you can click whatever link you need, access all the information right there. And always email your classroom teacher because that's key. All right, for attendance. Attendance really matters at this point. We know that many families who participated in distance learning, if you were in another district or even in ours, it was a little bit different in the spring. We're keeping track of the attendance. So please make sure if you are going to be absent, if a child is going to be absent, that you contact our front office and let them know. You can also email your classroom teacher to let them know, and they'll forward it to our building secretaries. You also have an option within School Messengers, another app that you can download on your phone and attach to the school. And that's where you can put in safe arrival if you're going to have an absence. And then that's recorded in that way so that you don't receive a phone call saying your child is absent that day and we have to do something called a safety check. So we know our phone calls can be annoying. So in order to avoid those phone calls coming through, we just ask that you let us know some information. If you have to leave early, let us know as well, and we can work with you, because I know teachers are concerned when students don't log on for their instruction. This year, we have something different with the state of Pennsylvania. Attendance is going to look drastically different. So there's a two-pronged approach to attendance. We want students to be online for our live sessions, but we also need students to complete the work. So in order to be marked present, it's engaging live with us and it's completing work. So we can work with families if there's a struggle within the schedule, especially if the students are younger, but please reach out so that we can find out ways to support you, whether it's they log on live and you help them with work later. But we really just want to make sure that all of our students are on and getting the support from their teachers, because that direct support is the most important. There you go. Ms. Mason, you're up.
Is this mine? Yeah, so I am the school counselor. I am the only school counselor in the building, and I do a lot with the kids to support them and to support their families. So some of these services that I provide, I see kids one-on-one. If there's an issue that's making them upset, whether that's something that's going on in the classroom, something's going on outside of school, something with their friends, I can talk to them about that. I see kids in small groups if there's like a similar situation. Like sometimes I'll run social skills groups, or, you know, just making friends in general. I'll do small groups for kind of similar issues with kids. I do lessons in the classrooms, and that looks like in September, I'll be doing an introduction lesson. Basically, what is a school counselor, so that the kids know what I do and how I can support them and how they can access me, especially virtually, because that can be kind of tricky. But then we do like personal safety lessons. We'll be doing career readiness lessons, even at the elementary level. So I'll be in the classrooms quite a bit. I also do 504 plans with kids who have a medical diagnosis that need accommodations in the classroom. I'm in charge of those. And then any support that you guys need as families, I'm here for you. So I do a lot of work with home and school with holiday help. If there is an issue with insurance, there's any way that I can be of service to you guys, please feel free to reach out to me. If there's anything that you think that I should know, also reach out to me. Email's the best way right now, since I'm not in the building and I don't have my phone. But yeah, email's the best. So if there's anything that you can tell me that would give me any insight into things that your child might be going through is really helpful.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, our health services. So here's our main nurse, Mrs. McPeak, on here as well. Please just make sure if you're keeping up with immunization, any dental visits, physical forms, you make sure you just get it to our nurses. You can email them over. You can ask how you need to get them in, drop them off to our main office. Those are all options. If you're struggling with health insurance, they can also support you with that as well. If your child has an allergy issue, so that when we return back to the building, or even if, because we have lunches that you're picking up, that allergy is actually put into the lunch system, so that when food is provided, they're not provided with the food that has the allergen in it. They do the safe at home calls as well to make sure our students, if we're missing them, if something's wrong and we're concerned, they do those calls and they deal with our emergency contacts. So please just make sure we keep all of that up to date. And just to think about the 504 plans, they work with Ms. Mason on the 504 plan as well for anything that's a medical need.
Yep.
All right, so something that I'm proud of is that we're Title I school-wide. So what that means in so many words, we have families who range in socioeconomics, and we have the means to be able to support them. So it's pretty much making us like we're a community school. So based off of the applications families complete, and it determines how many of our families receive free and reduced lunch, how many families have a need, where our income levels are. It allows us to get federal funding so that we can provide more instructional support and we can provide nutritional support as well. It also allows us to provide additional resources or activities or just teachers to be able to support them. So if you can, we ask that every single family, whether you think you qualify or not, the more families, the better. If you can just complete that application, it comes out in my newsletter frequently. You'll see you can do a paper copy or you could do it on the school cafe app. A part of being a Title I school, we have our parent survey as well. So we ask when that comes out that you participate in a parent survey. I love being a Title I school because we get to do these amazing events with our families. And one of them is pictured here, where we have families come in, I believe this was kindergarten, and they did a writing workshop with our families, and it happened during the school day. So when we get back to the building, these are the things that we look forward to, where we love when we can invite our families in during the day to be able to learn with our students. All right, Ms. Mason, you could take this over.
So as of last year, we were a school that implemented PBIS, which is Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports. Basically, we are explicitly teaching our expectations in the school in the classroom. So our B statements, the things that we expect kids to be positive, we expect them to be respectful, we expect them to be responsible, and we go into depth of what that looks like in every area of the building. And now we're teaching them how to do it virtually. So I think we are, we're getting ready now of how we're going to implement this in a virtual manner rather than in person. We do great oh, in the picture, there's the pie slamming in the face.
Yeah.
We do school-wide assemblies every month and really fun activities to reward kids for being on their best behavior and doing great things and really showing what we expect. And last year we did human bowling. We did smash a pie in the teacher's face day. We did all sorts of stuff that was amazing. The kids had a blast. We had a blast. And it's just something that really shapes the culture of our building. And it's something that we're really excited about. I'm obviously really passionate about it. I have a meeting about it tomorrow. I'm all excited. But it's something that's new to our kids as of last year. And I think it was a huge success. I was kind of upset for many reasons that the school had to shut down, but we had a lot planned. So I'm excited to get that back up and running.
And I will say that that is something that our students talk about the most. And Ms. Tassi might tell you, we literally do a pop-up day. So they do not know when we are going to have these incentive days. They just have to look for our blue shirts. And when they get off the buses and they get out the cars, they see we're all wearing the same shirt and they go crazy.
They're like, oh, it's going to be a special day today. Like it's all because, I go out, for arrival and you see how excited they are. Which, just puts a smile on my face.
So I was at the building for the Pie Day. I was in the office, and the gym is on the complete opposite side of the building, and they were so revved up for that Pie Day. I could hear them in the office. Like, they thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Oh, that was so
It was loud. It was very loud. I did.
They had a great time. And like, the kids start talking amongst themselves about, like, that was so great. What could they be surprising us with next month?
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to figure it out and trying to figure out how you could possibly top yourselves. So
a lot of pressure.
or anything.
So we're going to look for ways to do this virtually now. So just stay tuned. We don't want to leave our students hanging that they won't get to have that surprise fun experience, but we're going to figure out a way to make it work that is just as special.
Yeah.
All right, Mrs. Tassi.
Okay, so I'll reintroduce myself. My name is Stacy Tassi, and I am the current president of the Home and School Association. I currently have a little boy who will be starting kindergarten in the fall, and then I have a little girl who will be in 3rd grade. So I guess having a kindergarten student, I have some of the same concerns and worries as you guys coming into a new building, because I don't really know what to expect with him, especially since it's full day kindergarten and we didn't have that with my daughter. So I do work very closely with Mrs. Carter and several of the other Home and School Association board members, but really it takes everybody to make, and everybody working together to really accomplish what we do during the year. It really does take a village. A lot of the times I'll have parents come up to me and say, like, I really can't volunteer. I can't do that. That's okay. The one time you can volunteer, the one thing that you can do, it's all of those pieces of the puzzle that make the whole puzzle come together in the end. So we take any kind of volunteering, any way you can help at all. So typically during the school year, we run social fundraisers like dine-arounds or movie nights in the gym or dances, ice cream socials, book fairs, holiday shop. Obviously, that has to look a lot different this year with social distancing and not being in school. So we are looking at different things that we can do. Our biggest fundraiser of the year is Boosterthon. And that's typically been something where it's been children like running laps to raise money. And the company that comes in is amazing. They are like cheerleaders on steroids, ladies. I've never seen anybody so enthused, and they get the kids so super excited. And fortunately for us, that company has pivoted with the pandemic. And they are able to still do virtual fundraising. From a home and school point of view, our reason for doing the fundraiser has changed. It used to be to raise as much money as we could, but Mrs. Carter and I have talked, and our real primary reason for having them come back into the school this year is to give the students something new to look forward to and get that energy going and that excitement. So really, we feel like it's more important for them to have fun this year, and we are not really focused on how much money that we raise. We understand the pandemic has hit everybody in a different way. And if you're unable to participate or you're unable to donate, that's totally fine. We're totally okay with that. We still want your kids to come on and get the great character lessons that they teach and have the fun. And it's kind of like a virtual, would you say a virtual dance party, Mrs. Carter, this year?
That's the way it's going to be. It looks like it. It looks exciting.
Right.
I like to dance, so it looks exciting. We're going to have a dance party.
So the Home and School does meet. This year we're going to be meeting the second Monday of each month at 7 p.m. They will be virtual because all meetings this year will be virtual to make sure that we're socially distant. Please, even if you attend the first one just to see what it's like, we would love to have you. We would love to hear from you. Usually when you come to school, the first week of school, you get a packet, you get all these things from the Home and School as well. This year I'm taking a slower start because I don't know if you are like me, but I feel like there's so much new for all of us to learn, and we have to get used to this new normal. So things are going to be coming out later in September and onto October because I just feel like everybody needs time to digest the new norm and get used to it. And I don't need to add on top of everything else that we're all learning. So look for that later in September or early in October. There are things that you can do that are of no cost to you that greatly help the Home and School. If you have a Giant card and you shop at Giant, if you use your Giant card, if you register it, go online to giant.com and register. They donate a portion of your purchase back to the school. Every year we get about $2,500 just from that. So again, all you're doing is your regular shopping. We also do box tops for education. So if you purchase products that have box tops on them, you can download the app to your phone, take a picture of your receipt, and if you have anything with a box top on there, it will tell you, and then it will credit it to our account. We're also trying, since everybody's at home and shopping online, I really want to push Amazon Smile this school year because I feel that was really underutilized next year. So instead of logging onto Amazon, if you go under Amazon Smile, you can find Kulp and make that your charity of choice, and we will get a percentage of your purchase as well. Again, nothing above and beyond. You're just doing your regular shopping. And if you're not aware, in Kulp's parking lot, there is a clothing bin. It takes towels, sheets, clothing, stuffed animals. It does not take toys. But things of that nature, and a company comes and picks it up and they weigh it. So again, if you're trying to empty out your drawers as we're switching from summer to fall or fall to winter and you don't know where to drop them, we would love for you to drop them in our bin because that would help us as well. If you have any questions or comments or thoughts or ideas for different things that we could do, because we feel that this year we want to be more, I would say, cheerleaders for the teachers to help them get through the year, but also a resource for families as a way to share different things that we're doing that are working with our children at home, or different socially distant activities you can do, because I feel like we're all trying to be as creative as we possibly can. And I feel like the more ideas, the more we can help each other. So I would just like to say thank you for your time. And if you have any questions at all, our email address is kulphsa, that's KULP for Kulp, HSA for Home and School Association @ AOL.com. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. I will tell you that it's not always about just giving teachers things, but they find things to support teachers, to support students. So even this year when we were thinking about that we had to be socially distant, we couldn't share items, the conversation was already, well, what are you in need of that you can't share, that we can try to provide those things. It really isn't just let's collect more and more money. It's how can you support the students at the end of the day? And our students end up benefiting from all the activities they do. I can tell you when they do the Valentine's Day dance, I thought I was just going to chaperone and just stand there, and I had to go back to my office and put on flats because I had on heels for the day. The kids had me dancing all night. So they really make it so that it's exciting, that the kids are ready to come back and they want to be at the school. So it's a great resource. Also, I know there's always like a homeroom mom or dad of some sort, and that like really builds the community in the classes. And I hear from a lot of families that that's how their friendships have been built throughout the years, that they kind of organize their own conversations and get things going for the classroom. So I think that's great. Thank you. So that is our end. If you have questions, please feel free. You can open up your mic and ask us while we're here. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. And you can show your face if you want. We like seeing faces. We're stuck in our homes.
And type them in the chat, whatever you're comfortable with.
Anybody have attendance questions?